NZXT Cam. Monitor your games while playing. To learn more about it, check out the description. Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for Badgers picks for the week of April 26th. Let's see who's free this week and which 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, there will be Blitzcrank, Gragas, Callista, Kassadin, Lulu, Oriana, Scion, Sivir, Skarner, and Tom Kench. And for my first champion recommendation for the week, I'm going to give it over to Gragas. Probably could have guessed that I was going to pick him as one of the champions. Really good champion, really strong, especially right now. He's one of the top junglers, and actually one of the kind of top laners in top lane right now too. His kit works well up there for a few reasons. He's got good sustain through his passive. It works the same way in the jungle too, obviously. You get good sustain, you get good life back. It's just a good thing overall to have. He also does significantly good damage based on a champion who is also able to build a good amount of defensive stats. I think he's just good in both roles. I like him in the jungle a little bit more. I think his ganks are very, very impactful. Having a good gap closer with a knock up, or kind of a knockback knock up, and then a slow available too, and then percentage damage on an auto attack, all very good things to have on ganks. Makes them very impactful. Obviously all that works well in lane. A little bit harder to use the body slam if people are behind their minions, because anything you come in contact with first will stop your body slam action. But besides that, he can farm from long range with barrels if he really needs to, and he's got good escape if ganks do come his way. So strong champion right now, really good. Not actually that difficult to play either, so kind of a double whammy. Obviously do some pretty flashy stuff with him. You gotta just get timing down, but besides that, not too difficult. Try him out, he is free. My second champion recommendation for the week is going to go over to Oriana. I've had Oriana higher up in the tier list for a while now. Some people have showed a little bit of concern and or confusion with it, and that's fine, you're allowed to be confused. She is very strong right now. Positive buffs, changes to other champions, and actually just general meta stuff has actually put her in a good spot. We don't see her all of the time because I think some people, at least in professional play, they hesitate to always play it because if you execute Oriana poorly-ish, you end up just doing absolutely nothing. And that comes down to orb placement and who you're shielding and protecting and how you're using shockwaves. You'll see it in games where an Oriana is not landing any shockwaves or really not protecting or getting teams sped up with distance or all types of stuff. You can tell that they're not going to win, and it's not necessarily because the Oriana didn't do enough or like they let them down like with one massively like huge bad play, but like it just adds up to not ever contributing, and it's like having somebody who doesn't do anything. So despite their trying and it looking okay, missing a lot with her is really bad. But if you land things, she actually has the potential to absolutely nuke squishy targets. I think a lot of people forget a quick QRW will just absolutely destroy any ADC or any squishy mage, like one shot, if she's got a little bit of damage. So try her out. She's a lot stronger than most people think. It's just because a lot of people aren't that good with her, so definitely play her. My third recommendation for the week is going to go over to Sivir. Sivir has seen a rise back up in power. 2 reasons, actually. Now that the meta's kind of shifted the way it has a little bit. So the buff that she got that enables her ricochets to crit if the first one crits, and then the other ones will crit through. That was a huge buff and huge in team fights. It's awesome when you throw your first crit and the rest of them bounce around the entire team critting. That's just outrageous. So late game, it makes her phenomenally good at pushing and killing just teams when they're close to each other in big team fights. The other reason she came back into power is because this tankier meta has also popped back up. Granted, a few of the tanks have been nerfed, and they are making some changes, but overall, these tankier top laners that we're getting more so, and some of the junglers, she's really good at obviously speeding teams up or down, and most of those tanks all have some kind of engage and crowd control. So she can speed tanks up to start fights, to get in the middle of everything and start a fight. Then she can also bring the rest of the team in to then clean up with damage, and that makes her a very strong threat in that manner. She also has good damage just in the laning phase too with Boomerang Blade and good clear, so she never really has to worry about getting pushed in. If you want to push back as Sivir, you can actually push them in fairly early pretty often. It makes it harder for them to actually CS too. So a very strong champion right now in the ADC role. Try her out if you're looking for a new ADC to try. And my final recommendation for the week is going to go over to Lulu. Now Lulu is who I call the champion who can do anything. And by anything, I mean you can play her in any position. I truly believe she's the only champion who can effectively play every position. There's a few champions that, yeah, can dabble in the support role too, but then they don't translate over as ADCs. I honestly think you could play Lulu as an ADC. Her range isn't amazing for this, but she's got enough other utility on her kit that it makes it decent with a slow polymorph and a shield and speed up, you know, depending how you use it. But Lulu's great. She did see a small nerf, but that's realistically fine because she was strong and she always has been strong due to her flexibility within a team composition. She does good in almost any position if you want to play her. She's not going to bring the most nuking damage in the world if you are playing her as a mid or top laner, but she'll bring you sustained damage with a lot of utility. So if you're somebody who plays the game like I do, more so in a support fashion role to the rest of the team, not that I can't carry, it's that it's a team game. If we all use our synergy and our utility together, then we win as a team and we can all kill things equally and as a team. Obviously, that doesn't always work for people because people are bad and think that it's a solo player game, but they should just go play Call of Duty. But besides that, she can, in fact, impact games very well almost anywhere, brings plenty of damage and utility, so play her this week if you do not own her. Those are the 10 champions that are free this week. Those are the 4 I'm going to recommend you try playing. I'll go over all of the other ones right now, though, so you know a little bit about them. Blitzcrank, honestly think he's fine. Not the strongest, not the weakest. Obviously, can always change the tide of the game with a very impactful pull. Play him if you want. I don't really think he's that cancerous, actually. I don't know why people hate him so much. I mean, he can be annoying, but he misses one hook, like you're 20 seconds free, and he misses like 3 in lane, he's out of mana, so Giant, who cares? Keep a minion between you and him. Not very difficult. Besides that, then there's Callista. I think she's been nerfed a little too many times right now. The last 3 weeks she was available, which wasn't that long ago, she had just been nerfed. I don't really think she's awesome or terrible. I think she's fun to play, but she's a little weaker right now. Maybe not play her now. Kassadin, I actually think he's fun, but kind of meh also at the same point. Not the strongest right now, not the weakest either. Really needs to get to the late game to have a great impact. Sion, I actually wanted to recommend him this week, thought about it, decided not to. Not the strongest top laner right now, but not weak by any means. A solid tank in the tankier meta. Got some mana issues in some cases, but not too bad. They did nerf some of it, but if you build some mana into him, he does fine. Skarner, not actually terrible, but don't care for him and think he's terrible, so take that with a grain of salt. And Tahm Kench is honestly fine right now. Still decently strong. They did nerf him a little bit, and it did impact his health numbers because they nerfed the percentage he could get, which was a good thing. Hasn't seen a lot of play. Probably still pretty good as a support. Try him if you want to, if you don't own him. But those are the champions that are free. If there's a box around any other portraits, it'll take you to a build and guide or any type of video for that champion. Maybe A to Z jungle. Actually, are any of these in A to Z yet? Blitzcrank would be, wouldn't he? So yes, check out those videos. Let me know who you're going to play down below in the comments, and have a fantastic week playing League of Legends.